So today I wanted to talk about odd time and how we can sort of make bebop lines work in odd time. In practice it's not that complicated, although like all these things it takes a bit of time to practice and get into playing. It's more of a practical thing. There's a useful concept from an educator called Edwin Gordon, and he wrote a book called Learning Sequences in Music. And in it, he has an idea called macro beats. So there's 3 levels of rhythm. There's a macro beat, there's a micro beat, and there's a rhythmic pattern. Now, rhythmic patterns might cover the kind of rhythmic language you might play as jazz musicians, like diddle-a-bap, zoopy up and bap, boom, ba-doom-dapple, that kind of stuff, right? But macro beats are kind of where we tap our foot, so it's where we feel the tempo. And in jazz, especially faster jazz, you feel that in 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll notice that I'm clicking on the 1 and 3, and you think, what's wrong with him? Does he know how to play jazz? Well, I mean, don't, but you know, I do know where to click my fingers. And the reason why I'm demonstrating that is because that's where your foot should be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then your finger is free to click on the 2 and 4. Now this is something Barry Harris teaches, but it's also something Hal Galper teaches, and it relates to this idea of macro beats. We feel jazz in duple time. It's like in 2-2 rather than in 4-4. And playing in duple time allows you to relax. So if you're playing a fast tune like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, jing, 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 zabba-doo-ba up and babba-doo and dabba-doo and dabba, that's reasonably up. 1, if you're tapping 2 instead, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You get that feeling of relaxation, okay? You're not feeling every beat. And that's an important lesson that Hal Galper outlines in Forward Motion, although I think most experienced jazz musicians, I can't speak today, have an idea that you can pull rhythm up and down different levels, and you can maybe feel 1 bar as a beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And be even more relaxed, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, every other beat. You know, so there's very different ways you can feel the beat, and this sort of ties in with Edwin Gordon's description of what this is. So I think it's a good concept for jazz. And Forward Motion, we kind of look at tying our line, resolving it into the next microbeat. So for instance, in one of the previous videos, I think it was the one before last, I would show you how to take a G altered scale and put it into a C major chord tone, in this case E. So we go 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, that kind of thing, right? So we're always resolving to the E on the 1. And that's a good way of making that scale actually sound good. So the problem is people think of the scales as separate on each bar and don't tie them through. So it's no different for odd time, absolutely no different. You know, if I was going to do something in 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, then I'm feeling everything in 3, funnily enough. And a micro beat I'm feeling there is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So I'm just feeling it on the 1. So if we take a note, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, same thing, right? Now, of course, that doesn't just apply for the, you know, altered scale, which isn't even really a kind of bebop thing. So say you wanted to do a little diminished connection into, you know, from a G7, an A flat on top, G7 flat 9 into a C major. So you can play like a G major into, sorry, what I'm talking about, a B diminished 7th into a chord tone of C. So we'll choose E again, this seems to be the note for today. And we're going to play, we're going to play this thing. 1, 2, 3, and 1. That's a what in waltz time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1. Now we're just going to break it down. So the rules, as I said, I think, are exactly the same as playing in 4/4. You've got this a macro beat to aim for with a strong chord tone on it. Just got a bit less time to put notes in before, so it's not that difficult, right? But it still requires a bit of practice. So if we go backwards, we're playing. So first note, well, the last note, sorry, is E. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's quite hard to do, so I'm trying to do some time. 1, 2. one, so yeah, just need to check. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So you get the whole line. So that's how you build backwards, basically, which I demonstrated in the last video, or the one before last, for that note as well. So you could, you know, do a little, maybe a descending dominant scale. So how much time we got? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So there's 1, 2, 3, so that's in 3, right? It's fairly straightforward. 1, 2, 3. I think it starts on the and. 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So yeah, so there you go. If we're doing it in 4, it might be more like this. So you might have more time to. But then in the same way, you might have more time to get down the scale. It might be 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. No, it ends on 4. So I'd have to, yeah, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1. So then I'll have to come up with something to connect to that, which is, you know, you can construct in the same way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and so on, right? So if we want to play in an odd time signature, such as 7/4 or 5/4, for instance, then we have to do the same process. But the only difference is that when you're thinking something in 5/4, for instance, 1, 2, 3, ga, or 7/4. Especially in something fast, you're feeling the macro beats unevenly. So there's 2s and there's 3s, and Adam and Neely did a great video about this, so you should go watch that, because you know, this is what we're talking about here. And in this case, therefore, we have macro beats with uneven numbers of notes before them. So I mean, again, we can kind of, I find it difficult to say what the chord tones are going to be first, and then work out the line. It's probably something I should practice, but it just ends up being the chord tones end up what they end up being when they kind of spill over the bar line and stuff. So, you know, or I don't know, it's hard to explain. I find it hard to do it that way around. So I'm just gonna target that one, and we're gonna do I suppose 5/4. So we got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1. So actually we're gonna do it this way around. What is it? Let me work out. I want to do the same clave as Jive Coffee by Peter Bernstein, which is of course the same as Take 5. By the way, doesn't it sound syncopated when I play the straight rhythm? It's interesting. Anyway, yeah, so 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's basically the clave that we're dealing with. So if we're doing that, we want to sort of come up with a line which works, 3, 5, 1 line, for instance, that works in that rhythm. So we've got to have a bar of 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and a bar of 2. So if this is where we're ending up, we're playing 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 to 1, that kind of feel, right? We're going to go 1, 2, 3 to 1, 2. So the second bar is going to be 2 bars long. So that's not very much time. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 1. Okay, that's it. 1 and 2 and 1, or 1 and 2. That's enough. 1 and 2. So if we have a beat on 1, let's make it a G. 1, 2, 1. And we have a beat bar of 3 for 4. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Let's have let's have this note before it. So we're just going to look at the B now. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. Let's link that on. 1, 2, 3, and sorry, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Sorry, 1, 2, 3 and 1 and 2 and 1. Okay, that's the breaking into 3 and 2. So let's keep going back. 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. Sorry, is that one? 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1. So how are we going to continue this? Let's use those notes. Or actually we could use a descending scale, couldn't we? Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that, yeah. So 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2. 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. So do that again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1. So sorry, 1. Let's try that again. 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 5. So obviously I'm breaking this down in a very specific way. You can get to the point where you can just play it fluently. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But hopefully it gives you an idea how the lines work. Okay, so the next step is to play, let's go from, I mean, it's all the same really. If you wanted to play in 7/4, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, which wouldn't be a problem if you just practiced your, you know, 4s and your 3s. So, you know, it'd be something like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, like that. So, 1, 2, what do you do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's quickly talk about 7/8. 7/8 is a bit trickier than the other two, or 3 that we've looked at so far, because whereas in 7/8 you're basically effectively taking a beat out 2 bars, and in 5/4 even you're adding in a beat. In 7/8 you're taking away an 8th note, and that's a bit more difficult. So most people feel the basic macro beats in 7/8 as 1, 2, 1, 2, bad, 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 1, 2, 3, 1. So it's a 3 where the third beat is a bit longer, and there's an Adam Neely video about that, right? I'll attach it below. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, boom, boom, ga, 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 which is the inverted thing. So I mean, you can do that. You can play on those macro beats even, but you'd always end up in the clave. Like if I do the dun 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 ba ga 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 way round. Lines are going to sound a bit like that. Not there's anything wrong with that at all, but it's definitely in the clave. It's locked in. So another way of thinking of it is the macro beat is just 7 beats long. You hear that I'm singing a clave within that, but then if you go and you kind of accent that sort of, sorry, if you aim for that E, bam, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we'll work backwards again. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. But of course that's 7. 7, 1, 6, 7, 1. 5, 6, 7, 1, 5, 6, 7, 1, 5, 6, 7, 1. So maybe if we go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, that might be a bit better. So it'd be 1 and 2 and 3 under, 1 and 2 and 3 under. So count it that way, right? So this is 1, a 1, and a 1, and a 1. So 1 and 2 and 3 and a 1, 3 and a 1, 3 and a 1. So that's 3, 1, 3, 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 1. I'm losing the alto scale again, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and a 1. 1 and 2 and a 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 1. So this will be like 1 and 2 and 3 and a 1. Sorry, 1 and 2 and 3 and a 1. Jing, zing, zing, zing. So it's quite fun when you get into it. And you'll probably still hear a bit of the clave underneath there, but I think it kind of gives more of a flowing quality. And so on, right? So I'll show you the example of 11/8, which is just going to take our principles and take them a bit further. So 11/8 is generally broken down as 4 twos and 1 3. So 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 ba da 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 di ga ga da da di, so on, right? So that is 1 2 3 4. So 1 2 1 2. That's a 4. 1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1. So it's like a bar of 4 and a bar of 7 8. I'll show you. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Or you can break it down to 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1, which is fine, but a little bit. 1 2 3 4 bango dinking dango ding dango dinking dango dinking dango ding dango dinking dango dinking dango. And again, the same things apply. So 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3. So again. 2 3 ding 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 ga boom 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 ding ga 1 2 3 4 1 2 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 banga di banga ding 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 janga di janga ding janga. So we're grouping that into larger sort of odd macro beats there. So let's play it 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1. Sorry, try that again. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3. It's hard because I haven't practiced it, but that's how you go about it. So you get up and book it, you can jump it, it's much easier than going 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 1 2 or 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 1 2 3 4. So that's the way I tend to feel it, and it's kind of a tricky thing, but it's fun. 13/8, would be another 2, so it'd be 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 1 2 3 1 2. It's just most people I think know how to break down these time signatures, but then the challenge is to be able to fit your improvisations to it. So that's 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3. So it's almost like you've got one bar of 4. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2. It's another way of counting it. So if I go like I can't do it, but you get the idea, you get the logic. So let me just try it again. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 1 2 1 2. There we go. That's how you do 11/8. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1. And then it doesn't feel so bad, doesn't it?